Hey, welcome back to the Metro Icon Podcast for another new episode. And before I go into the general announcements, all right, I want to clear something up real quick, okay? To the episodes that's been released in season 3, there's been a lot of outdated information that's been kind of shared on the episodes. From On Air Don't Care, which I'm no longer on. In the last month and a half, I haven't done On Air Don't Care. As well as maybe some older venues and stuff that some of the guests have maybe worked with or whatnot. So just understand, a lot of these episodes were pre-recorded and pretty much very much predated to when the episode finally got released, because to how I did it, I let it to have my episodes, at least a good 8 to 10 episodes already pre-recorded for the start, so that there's a consistency every week. So granted, in some of the conversations, there might be some information that might not be completely updated. But if you want to have the updated information, it's super easy. All you got to do, follow me on Instagram at Shawn Kay Do It All, or go to my website, www.theshowman.live. And you can get updates to all the up-to-date information of new events coming through and where I'm going to be popping off. So just keep that in mind. But that being said, we are getting close to actually coming to more of a present minded situation as far as the conversation goes. That being said, letting you guys know right now, of course, Tuesdays, you can catch me every single Tuesday at the library bar from 9 to 1 doing bingo karaoke. Small twisted karaoke where bingo numbers are read with every karaoke performance that goes up on stage, where anybody in the bar has a chance to win one of three library bar gift cards that they can use towards your tabs. And new spot alert that's coming in on Thursday nights from 7 to 11 p.m. at Scout inside the Statler in Dallas, right? Just locking it in. So I'm going to be in downtown Dallas on Tuesdays and then downtown Dallas on Thursdays, all right? Or sorry, downtown Fort Worth on Tuesdays, downtown Dallas on Thursdays. That's how you know this is raw and uncut, and I try to do it in one take. Other than that, y'all, again, follow me on Instagram at Shawn Kay Do It All. Go to my website, www.theshowman.live. I got some stuff and some promotions and sponsors to talk about. But for now, let's go into this episode, because I'm actually talking to a homie of mine, Sam Brand of Sam Brand Photography. He is a capture king that's all around DFW, has shot for so many different high-profile comedians, and does fantastic work. And the day that I actually did this conversation with him and this interview, he was actually doing a in-home photo shoot, taking family pics after the move. So this conversation actually is in the studio, and it is done when Pilar and the kids actually moved down here. So it's fun, it's intuitive. We get a little interpersonal and keep it short and quick so we can go right to the photo shoot. So go ahead, turn your speakers up. This is my episode with the one and only Sam Brand.
You could do it all. You can.
Do it all, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Metro Icon Podcast, where you know what we do. We talk about the world of entertainment and media and the icons that live in it. And yo, do I got an icon in the house today. He is a guy that is the capturer of icons in today's world. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who is capturing all over, and as well myself. Give it up for Sam Brand, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Hello.
There we go. That's a round of applause. You hear that round of applause?
I do.
How does that feel? I mean, usually you're not the guy that's usually getting the round of applause, and today on the Metro Icon Podcast, that is you. How you feeling, brother?
It's a great feeling.
You were gracious enough to do the liquor run for me, and cheers to you, because we have to have a glass of this honey bourbon here. So, welcome to the show. I'm glad that you finally were able to make it. And then we got a little photo shoot that we're going to be doing after this. But until then, man, how's everything going with you, bro?
Pretty good, man. Just trying to stay busy and getting out
Aren't
there.
we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all trying to just stay busy? But, yeah, man, I mean, you made it out. You came all the way from Dallas to drive out here during that rush hour time.
Oh,
That must have been a fun adventure coming out here.
Always.
But I mean, you're used to driving because you have to drive out to like Fort Worth and every which where to capture these gigs, man. So tell the people a little bit about who is Sam Brand, what do you do, and how you live in this world of entertainment and media.
So I'm
Talk.
just a capturer of talent because, like, without talent and you guys putting it out there, I wouldn't have anything. But I'm just the guy to capture it for you. As Shawn said earlier, capture, capture, capture.
Hell
That's word stuck in my head now because of that.
Yeah, because you're a natural, like, I mean, you don't just focus on having doing photography, which is what like we did our work together, but you do video capture.
Yeah.
And I have seen the footage that you have done. I mean, you've done incredible work. I love what you're doing. You're actually a big advocate for comedians, especially. I think that's your primary clientele. As far as like your late night gigs and what you get, right, is pretty much capturing for comedians.
Yeah, all the clubs around, like Comedy Arena, Fort Worth, Hyenas, Red Room a whole lot, Blue Room a good bit, and everywhere. I'm probably leaving a few out because everything runs together.
Yeah. After a while, it kind of like blends in. It's kind of like it's hard to really, really like pinpoint exactly where you're, pretty much working and all that. So, I mean, either way, you staying busy, staying locked. I also know that you're in the school capture business.
I
knew that was a sensitive subject for you. All right, my bad. We'll switch it back. But you get to do the fun stuff too.
Yeah,
and
had me travel. Well, the good part about that is had me traveling. Like since 2010, I started off with that. Like I stopped substitute teaching. I did that.
Oh, you were a substitute teacher?
Yeah, it was crazy. I looked like I was about 16 when I was fresh out of college in 2007.
What grade were you teaching?
Oh, I would sub K through 12, and it was crazy.
Really?
The high school was really crazy because I had like hair longer than my hair is now.
Oh,
and
no
I was
way.
still wearing like all my Costin K5s.
You were more hippie before.
I was like skateboard hippie out of college. But like element stuff, like boot cut jeans and just. I was just a little musician, and that's all it was, basically.
Would you ever like throw in your guitar in your like lesson plan?
No, but I did like skate to school a couple times. Like I lived right from, like not even a quarter mile from one of the schools, and I would like skateboard, and everybody like, "Oh, cool, Mr. Brand's got his longboard."
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, and then, but how long has it been since you've done substitute teaching?
Oh, that was like 2010.
2010?
Yeah, so it's been a little while.
And then you decided to go full-time and do photography at that point?
Well, it was before that. Like, I'd started off, like, I got fired from my first job out of college, which was doing data entry.
Oh,
for some lame bank.
No.
I felt really great with, like, 2 degrees in engineering and all that other fun stuff, and arts. And,
that's the oldest one.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
but, like, doing data entry. And I actually got fired for that because I told them, I was like, I'm going to give you 110% if I'm on the clock, but if I'm off the clock, I'm off the clock because they were expecting us like work through our lunch breaks to catch up.
Oh, hell no.
So I wasn't a team player, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
No, I mean, it's not a matter of being a team player, but more so the fact that like it's hard for you to stay like motivated in a job that is just the same probably every single day, right? Like you're just sitting there and it's just like plug, and like where's the juice that's going to help you to really like grow it within the field that you're in, right? There's really no growth in that. So, I mean, I feel you, man. I mean, coming from like I worked the whole corporate like structure and corporate lifestyle, and like working for myself, like it's struggling, but it's way more rewarding.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I think you can relate to the fact that like there is a greater sense of peace when you're just working for yourself and figuring out the grind.
Yeah.
How was that transition now for you? Like I have talked about like my times of having transitioned from like the corporate 9 to 5 whatever job style that I was doing into
pretty much self-generating the business for myself. Like, what was that transition like for you during that time?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I had contracts coming in, so then I would take side gigs. So it's been like that since 2010. And in between traveling and stuff, I'd have like a week off or 2 weeks off or something like that. And I don't know, like it was not as hard as it is now. Or getting your own stuff. I mean, let me erase this. This is like,
why? Are you too high for the episode?
no. The second glass of this is doing it.
Oh, did you already have a glass before you got here? Oh, well, shit, man.
On my nerves because like I knew I was going to be on camera.
Oh.
I'm used to be on the other side of camera. See,
Right, you're behind the camera.
I do videography and shoot
photography,
studios. I shoot live events, like anything.
Yeah.
I started off kind of the arty hippie kind of guy going through college because like I went the way I did ceramics, traditional photography, and then recording engineering.
Ceramics,
yeah,
like
I'm a ceramicist, so.
Ceramicist.
A ceramicist.
I didn't even know that was a word of a title that you can be.
Oh, dude, I love pottery. Like it was an awesome release.
Well, I mean, I do know you. I mean, I knew you like pot. I just didn't know you like pottery. So, I mean, I don't know if it's in the same field, technically. You know, no, or it just. I digress. All right, well,
all right,
no, but I mean, ultimately though, like, do you have any other side hustles though outside of like, you know, just your photography and videography business?
Well, I play music too. I'm trying to get back into it because like I really got rusty and got out of the groove because 18 to like 32, I was gigging like almost every weekend.
Dude, you're good too, man. Like, I mean, I remember like seeing you at Michelle's open mic. Shout out to Michelle. You're lovely lady. It took me a minute to realize that you guys were actually together and living together.
We keep it professionally.
You keep it very professional, but even when I came over to your place for like our photo shoot that we did for my most recent headshots, you were talking about your roommate, but you never said that your roommate was your girlfriend and it was Michelle Rose. So I was like, that's why I was kind of like, oh shit, that's his roommate? Oh, I had no idea. But how long you guys been together?
2018.
A couple years. And did you guys meet in the gig life?
We just crossed paths a lot, and then ended up running into each other.
Okay. And you were like, hey, I don't think you want to be.
It's like I've seen you around a few places I've been. I've noticed you. Mm-hmm. I think you've noticed me too, and it worked like that.
I like that. And so, do you think that now you're in a realm where you kind of want to bring back that musician side of you?
I'd love to get back to playing more music. I'm trying my best. And
yeah.
I usually cook the rooms on the open mics.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Michelle's got an awesome open mic. I'm going to have to miss, unfortunately. October 9th at the Wine Therapist.
Wine Therapist, where's that at? Dallas?
Yeah, it's in Dallas.
Well, the Wine Therapist, you can always Google it. I'm sure they'll give you the answers. But that's next Monday, October 9th. But unfortunately, though, this episode will be released in weeks ahead of time. Yeah. I'm in the process of looking for a new editor to get these episodes out. I haven't officially released season 3, but when it comes out, I mean, this will be in the first leg, but it's going to take a little bit of time before this episode. This is probably like my 10th sitting episode within my season to in what I'm releasing. So, but my first 35 episodes are on there, so hopefully people are checking it out, catching up. But either way, I'm sure that by the time this episode does come out, you guys can follow Open Mic Mondays on Instagram, on Facebook, and you can check out all the places that she's going to be, hosting her open mics and whatnot. And
She Rose presents.
She Rose presents. She is a boss. And but yeah, man, I remember you starting out the open mic, and it was like a good 10, 15 minutes, dude. You were cooking a good set, and I know that that was probably even just a small fraction of the music that you actually know.
Oh, I would get in there and play for 45 minutes before the show starts and just keep it going and banter with the... Most of it was banter with the bartenders, bring me a beer while I'm playing, please. Come on.
Well, I mean, but do you think, though, that, So in your musician journey now, like, do you think that this is something that you would want to keep as like a solo endeavor? Has it always been solo? Were you part of a band?
I've always been like mostly part of a band, but here lately, it's just easier to do it by myself.
Mm.
I'm always looking to. I need a drummer and I need somebody that can harmonize and play rhythm guitar.
Okay.
Just hitting out there. So
Well, if you guys are watching this episode, you are a drummer or a harmony guitarist, feel free to hit up my guy Sam Brand, do a jam session, and figure out if the move is right. That's what you want to figure out, if the move is right. Now, are you originally from DFW?
oh no, I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo.
Tupelo.
Yeah. Well,
Not Tupelo, Tupahi.
Tupelo.
Tupelo. When did you leave Tupelo, Mississippi?
When I got disowned in 2013.
Disowned.
Only half my family, so I still got like good with the brand. The brands are great, but
So your dad's side,
Yeah.
you're groovy. But your mom's side, she disowned you?
I don't want to get into that.
No, you don't. We don't have to. We don't have to. But
But
I
yeah,
mean, you
it's-
brought it up, so they got me curious.
It's a funny start to a story. Be like you can say like that's a story for a different day, but like just to know. But like I went straight from Tupelo, I moved up to Memphis, and then from Memphis, I went to New Orleans, and then New Orleans, I met a girl from Houston, and moved to Houston with her, and then moved to Dallas, and then back to New Orleans.
Were you still in a relationship when you moved to Dallas?
Oh yeah, for like 2 months.
Oh, okay. So it was a quick transition from Houston, and then you're like, yeah, then fuck this humidity, and then you ended up going to DFW.
Yeah, well, we moved for her work, and then she's like, "Wow, being a contractor, you're not going to make as much as a doctor." So,
Was she a doctor?
Mhm.
Ah.
That's where I got my skincare tips because
She was a
she's a
dermatologist?
dermatologist.
Okay. Okay. Well, I
when you
mean,
get bitched at enough about what you're not doing,
yeah.
it just ingrains in you and helps you out.
Sure. Well, I mean, you learn from every situation that's out there, and then, obviously, you just take it with you and just keep the good knowledge that
Yeah.
you've picked up. But so that relationship lasted 2 months. You were in DFW, and then is that when you kind of were like, all right, I'm gonna.
Well, no, I went back to New Orleans, and then actually had another job opportunity because the girl, the ex, because we'd been together a while and then split up for that time. She was like, "Hey, there's an opportunity. Come up here."
Mhm.
So I came up here in 2017, or came back to Dallas, and started doing production work for Arby's commercials and Burger King commercials.
Hell yeah.
At Noonday Studios. It was a really cool place. The guy that owned it was a really, really cool guy.
Mm.
But then I ended up getting corporate photography for picture. It was not fun. But I designed the shoots with help of one other lady and told all the studios to do it our way.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome. We came up with all the advertisements. But they're still using today, I think. So
Nice. Well, I mean, that's not too bad. But do you ever go around and you see your stuff? You're like, hey, I shot that. You're like,
well, it's mostly digital ads because the company went under.
oh.
So they minimized it to the bare bones now. So
Well, I mean, I'm sure Burger King and Arby's, they bought the rights and then own the rights of all that stuff, so they can use it at their free will, however they want. Either way, man. I mean, what a journey. I mean, and we don't got to dive into the bad stuff. I mean, because life is good now.
Oh yeah, it's so great. I kicked a job that had me traveling all over the United States to stay one to just local to Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I had some long hauls out to Odessa every now and again, and all the way down south, but trying to limit those more.
Mm.
But yeah, 2018 or 2019, or it was 2018. One of Michelle's open mics at Chocolate Secrets.
Oh yeah.
She started that one.
Oh, no way.
2018.
That's a good mic.
It used to be the greatest mic.
Mhm.
Whatever mic she puts out is awesome.
Yeah, no, she's a fantastic host.
But I was taking pictures of everybody there, and that's how I got started working with the comedians and everything.
Smart.
Because all the comedians hit up her mic.
Yeah.
And like I can remember like Ralph Barbosa starting out on that mic.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And like
What a card.
Zach Sprung.
What a card. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I know, man. But here's have a drink to him.
Yeah. Drink to Zach Sprung.
But one guy was like, "Hey man, can you film?" And I had this camera that I bought in 2014. That's what I was using to take pictures. That just so happened would take 1080p. So I was like, "Yeah, I can do it." And it's been history ever since. Like I put out good work, and now like mounds of credit later.
Yeah, I mean, I think just from a professional standpoint, dude, I think it's outside of like just the good work that you put in. It's actually dedication, like personal dedication that you put in to every performance. I think you've gone above and beyond for like I think all your clients that I've seen, right? And I think that is the beautiful part of why that notoriety of working with you has been like, hey man, like make sure you hire Sam Brand, because every guy that I've talked to that has ever worked with you has always like stated the same consistent thing. They're like, dude, Sam Brand is the shit because he like gives you such a bang for your buck, gives you such quality work. He's very dedicated and he's willing to work with you, and you maintain that steady. Because I mean, you know, these comedians are not like rolling in fucking bucks for the most part, right? I'm sure like Ralph Barbosa from the days of Chocolate Secrets open mic to Ralph Barbosa now, I mean, that bag is different.
Yeah, a lot of his headshots he's been using were some from a session I did like in 2019.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, like...
I've worked with everybody, starting off, and that's the coolest part about my job, getting to work with everybody. Because like I said, I capture talent that's presented to me. Without that, there'd be no talent for me.
Yeah.
To throw back at everybody. But seeing everybody grow.
Yeah.
From like the fledgling comedian, I just got out of a bad relationship, so I went to a comedy class.
Yeah.
This is my first night on.
Yeah.
Wait, it's on.
Yeah.
But like I've seen people go from that to fucking killing big shows, having like just some best stuff that I've seen on the stage. Man.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, dude? I can tell you as the journey of a comedian, man, is like, and it's always just different, just because, like every comedian has their own like journey in the story, but like at the same time, not every comedian like sticks it through, right? And I'm sure that you've seen some comedians, and then all of a sudden you're like, I never saw this dude again in my life, And this is a world that we have to like stay practical with, and we got bills to pay. But the fact of the matter is that you are maintaining the work consistency, and you're working with these comedians, and you're getting a value that you'll see a benefit from, or that you'd be like, okay, you know what, I can work with that for the night. But I think now you're seeing that growth and that scale because it's become synonymous over however many years that you've been working with comedians and producing.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I shouldn't say working when I do that. Because to me, it's like hanging out with friends. And that's the way I try to present myself.
Do what you love for work, and if you're like
exactly.
you're not working a day in your life.
So I'm getting to hang out with like really cool people when I'm working a show. And that's how I look at it. Because I'll have a drink with you. I'll shoot the shit and hang out because I'm having a good time. I'm getting to see really talented people like put their hearts out there on the stage, and that's what makes this job and what I'm doing so awesome.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of every night.
Yeah, I mean, and I love hearing it. And again, dude, it's like for me, I always think that like there is just even though that financial security that sometimes you can get with having a job, that is just providing you that assurance. And all that is like nice, but having a career that is your own, built off your own merit, based off the work that you put in, and putting in that consistency of good work, and then seeing it generate more business. I mean, I just think that like in the end, man, it's like we always figure out how to cover our circumstances one way or another. I mean, like you've seen my circumstances have like increased exponentially now. You know, I have like this instant family situation, and I'm not a like lone wolf anymore. You know, like I'm not living a life where I only have to pay for my own bed and my own food and all that kind of stuff. Like I have dependents in my house, and you know, my fiance picks up the large leg for her kids, but you know, I wasn't like coming into this situation to like only look out for myself, you know,
Right.
and I knew that I would have to be invested to be in it. But regardless, you know, my circumstances have increased, and I would figure out within the model of me being able to make it work. And I think that the same has probably gone for you. And of course, you know, for you, like you're trying to upgrade your equipment, you know, grab new gear.
Well, here's the deal. This is one thing I notice about myself where I stand out is that I always try to find a way to do something better the next time.
Mhm.
Like no matter how or whatever level it ends up at, I'm always trying to figure out what can I do to make it better the next time.
Sure. I think any smart businessman
Yeah.
would ultimately be looking at that as far as, I mean, because you can't stay complacent in this game, dude. Like, I think that's one thing that, like, I mean, like, let's look at just even DJs, right? Like, they just like, oh, this song, it just works, or this set list just works, and it's like they don't try to, like, adapt with the times, and now the times, it's just evolving and growing so rapidly that, like, if you stay complacent, you're just losing. And I think that's the smart model to
Well,
like,
if you're not trying to be better than yourself every day, like the day before,
Yeah.
every day,
at least 1% better.
then what are you doing?
What are
You're
you
just
doing?
like just sitting around.
Yeah. I mean, well, you're just driving yourself to complacency to the coffin, you know. And I think that like you have to be able to look at yourself and say like, you know, it's never going to be perfect, you know.
When you go on autopilot, you just like kind of lose focus of everything because
Or you lose the drive, right?
Exactly.
You lose the passion of the game, and I think that's the main reason we're self entrepreneurs is the passion of the game. You're like, I love to do this, and so I'm going to put in my work and my effort, and I'm going like whatever I did yesterday is going to be better tomorrow. You know what I mean? Even if yesterday was great, I'm going to be better tomorrow. I mean, dude, it's a fantastic mindset that you have in this game, and you know you've talked some business with me like over the course of our relationship. You know that even hasn't been that long, but I've appreciated it of you. You know, just kind of seeking my input on just kind of, hey, how do you think that maybe I should just kind of look at this, or how should I direct this, or handle certain situations. And I've always appreciated that. I'm like, oh man, like I thought you were. I didn't think that like me or you or one was better than the other, and see like it made me respect that like, oh man, this dude really sees me as like an equal and respected colleague within the game. And you know, we can shoot the shit, have fun, and kind of goof around and when we need to. But I mean, I just even remember when we did the headshots, dude. Like I had a blast, like working with you. You know, and
well, that's what I do. I have a conversation with people because if you're just like, do this, I'm sorry to whatever photographer does that, but you got to be straight on.
Yeah.
Or the glasses thing. This is my favorite.
It's gotta have like, oh, that one.
That one.
Yeah, I mean, mine, yeah. I had to do a couple different dynamics, I think, during my shoot, but I do remember you were like, dude, this is so easy. Like, you're so easy. Like, you're just being able to hit exactly the pockets that you need to deliver for this shot or this shot and all that, which I loved, you know. But again, I think that that's testament to the results of the photos that I got, and the reason why it was so hard to select the pictures to get touched up is because there were so many that I was like, damn, I'm like, these just felt so naturally.
Well, here's the deal. I'm not one of these photographers who are like, do this, turn this. I will say that to get your best angle, but I'm going to have a conversation with you, and then what you're getting from the session, it's not just a row of pictures. It's like a capture of our conversation in pictures, because I'm going to have you tell me jokes. I'm going to start it off. I'm going to offer you a drink when you come in, and just be relaxed, be yourself. You have to watch out for penny dogs. So
Yeah, Penny Dog. Penny Dog was like all over. I think a couple pictures of this. She's just like chilling right by my feet.
Yeah.
You know.
Everybody gets a shot with Penny usually.
Yeah. But I mean, speaking of so then I think that's a good segue to what I wanted to ask was that like what do you think are like let's say what do you think you are seeing the bad habits within the industry of photography and videography that
I'm not going to go into that.
Why?
Because here's the deal. I'm not going to arm people with what they need to look out for.
So it's
and I'm not going
in the eye of the director, right? Like everyone has their own shoot style.
Well, I'm just going to let them continue and not worry. Like I don't want them to know. Like,
You're not trying to teach the next class or the next generation.
No, I've made that mistake a couple times.
And then they took whatever your knowledge and then
they took my knowledge that just spilled off through casual conversation and kind of ran with it a little bit.
That's all I'm just saying. A little too much.
Let's just say in the future when I do get I'm gonna end up hiring some people that there's gonna be some
like so in that sense
I'm 40, man, and I've been doing this for years,
which is shocking to me. I'm literally just finding out that you're 40 years old. I mean,
yeah, dude. Like I've been shooting since like professionally, like 100% since 2008. Like however many years that is. Like
that's 24 years. No, 14 years.
Something like that. But like
years? 13 years.
And then since 2005, when I took my first like traditional, like I started off at black and white film. Like that was man, I love it. I've got to go through all my old negatives. I was shooting in old blues clubs. I was playing in old blues clubs. I miss those days back in Mississippi, but I'm in a lot better place here in Dallas.
Yeah. Do you feel like though you have competition in the game?
I'm not worried about it.
Fair enough.
I work with talented people, and talented people, they're talented because they have levels for what they want them, they want themselves portrayed, and captured. Yeah. So like anybody that's capturing anybody but those people, like those people are fine. Like I love working with the quality of the talent that I'm working with. Like the people, I just shot a show that Shawn Kay put on. It was the coolest thing at Sweet Tooth Hotel. Some great people.
Where's that?
Oh, downtown Dallas. Like,
oh, no. Okay.
I just know next time I shoot there, I'm bringing a floodlight. That place is dark. But, it's really cool venue. But stuff like that.
Have you ever worked with a talent where you were like, damn it, I should have charged more for this motherfucker?
When I started learning like new stuff, like if I added my gimbal in, I'd be like, yeah, let's do like just this for this time because like I'm trying this out, and then I realized how much more work is in it than I realized. So like it just those moments are teachable moments because you learn what you need to get out of it for the effort.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's fair.
Hey, you glasses wearers, or maybe you have a cell phone in your pocket. I just want to let you know you're doing it wrong. You are doing it wrong, and you probably didn't know. That's okay, because you didn't know about InsiderCloth.com, y'all. The last microfiber cloth you will ever need. Listen, you guys have the same exact habit where you're using your shirts and all that kind of stuff to clean off your glass lenses or your glass surfaces like on your cell phones or maybe on that camera lens of yours, and you have no idea that you're actually ruining the quality of those glass lenses. And some of those glass surfaces are way more important than others. With InsiderCloth.com, you can keep the habit and change the fabric, y'all. Super simple, all right? Simply take one of these Insider cloths, put it on the bottom inside of any one of your shirts, boom, you're good to go. All right. And there's also 3 options available. They have temporary, semi-temporary, and permanent. Okay. They're super easy to apply, and they're also easy to remove because, after about 15, 16 washes, you want to be able to bring the fabric right back to its utmost, highest quality. So go to insidercloth.com, and if you want to see it for yourself, here's a promo code that you can use to get 10% off your first order. It's simply DIA Cloth. That's DIACLOTH to get 10% off your next order at insidercloth.com. And as you can see, they got black, they got white that matches for all the color tones that you might have of your shirts and your fabrics. So keep it rocking, keep it right. Insidercloth.com, the absolute truth, where you can keep the habit and change the fabric. Of course, let's talk about my guy, Teddy Johnson of D&K Contracting, okay? All these storms are coming through right now in the season around DFW, but all around Texas. Let's see, everything is bigger in Texas, and so are the storms, and as well the damage that's coming from those storms to your home. All right. Teddy Johnson is the guy that's going to take away all your worries. And all you got to do is email him and get a free consultation. You'll see exactly why every single person goes back to Teddy Johnson. All you got to do is email him at teddyj.dkcontracting@gmail.com. And I promise you, he's going to give you the best return of result. Hear what I'm saying. Best return of result, okay? Especially when it comes to dealing with those insurance claims. All they're trying to do is, trying to keep their money. That's all they're trying to do. And he's the guy that's going to be able to handle all those biggest headaches, get it done, and get it done right, all right? So once again, email my guy, Teddy J, at teddyj.dkcontracting@gmail.com and get that home repair or home restoration project done. Of course, you know that you might have that big event coming in, and all you got to do is hit up Do It All Entertainment. You can check us out at doitallive.com, or go ahead and send your inquiry to info@doitallentertainment.com. Mention the Metro Icon podcast. Maybe we'll hook you up with your next package, especially when it comes to MC services by yours truly, Shawn Kay the Showman. And of course, if you like the way I'm looking right now, shit, you could probably do it yourself, or have me provide it for you through DIA Media Pro, or maybe you just need some creative consultation. You want to find a way to be able to promote your business, do some storyboard constructing, being able to create the logistics of that next production. We got you covered. Just shoot us an email at diamediapro@gmail.com. We got all the services you need, from camera work, videographers, editors, voiceover work. That's very big. That's going big, hot right now. Social media promos and reels. We got you covered. So again, just shoot us an email at diamediapro@gmail.com. All right, y'all. Let's go back to this episode.
So 40 years old, you having your photography, videography business, getting back into the love of music and trying to put your talent of musicianship out there a lot more often, right?
I had a recording studio. It was Boomcat Records. Because this cat was blowing up. That's how I came up with that, from something somebody said to me.
It's very jazzy thing.
Oh, it's a blues thing. We was in Morgan Freeman's club the first time I was in there.
Oh, no shit. Wait, Morgan Freeman has a club?
Oh, yeah, in Clarksville, Mississippi.
No way. I had no idea.
Dude, they called me the Tupelo Kid. There's a long, fun story behind that.
So why don't you go back to Tupelo? I mean,
why don't I?
Yeah, because
I didn't really have anything, man. My family's there. What's left of them are the ones that I give a damn about.
Sure.
And there's not a whole lot of opportunity, man. Everybody that stayed back around Tupelo, they never really accomplished.
They're not doing anything. You know what? That's so fair. Just because I say the same thing. I mean, I'm from Chicago, and everyone's like, "Why would you leave Chicago? For DFWs in Chicago, a bigger city." And I'm like, dude, it's not as popular. Well, it's first off, it's oversaturated. Yeah. And so in that, there's not as much opportunity present because of how saturated it is. When you start seeing a lot more dirty trends in the game, especially in the industry and other business owners that are doing the same thing that you're doing, at a certain point, then I had to come to that realization and be like, yo, like, I need to go where the opportunity is brewing and growing. And I remember when I was coming out here and I'm like thinking about like my 5-10 year plan. I was like, okay, maybe like my 5 to 10 year plan, like I'll move to one of the cities between like Austin and San Antonio, and that way I'm kind of close to those two markets, but also close to Austin. But I've gone to Austin maybe 8 or 9 times in the last in the last 2 years that I've been here, and I'm like, I'm never leaving DFW.
Yeah, there's a lot here, man.
There's so much going on here, and
there's so much talent here,
and I think that DFW is going to become the mecca of Texas. Like, case in point, I just think that like in the next 5-10 years, like that one thing that I've noticed, like Houston, I'm not worried about. Like Houston, people are leaving Houston. Houston's not growing. Houston's just kind of staying the same in a sense. Austin is growing, and as well, like Austin has now become, I think, the biggest mecca for comedy. You know, it used to be such a live music scene, and now all these live music places are building their venues to accommodate comedy.
Yeah.
But their infrastructure is not built for the growth. And that's what I noticed about Austin. But here, DFW infrastructure is prepping for that growth, right? They're building all these highways. You have multiple avenues and highways to be able to get where you need to go. And they're building the scale, like they're building highways at the same rate that they're building neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know, and they're expanding roadways in the same respect because they foresee this growth happening. And there are just more and more and more people from not just all over the U.S., but all over the world that are coming here. 5-10 years, DFW is going to be the mecca of Texas. There's not going to be a bigger region. And then you're talking about, like, and you can't just say Dallas anymore. Like, people are just saying, like, oh, you're from Dallas. And I'm like, no, I'm from DFW.
Yeah.
And I think you can appreciate it, even though, like, you live in the city, like, you live in downtown Dallas, like, you've done enough work in Fort Worth to see the buzz down there. Like, I think you can agree that, because I say this all the time, people sleep on Fort Worth all the time. Like, people have no idea how poppin' Fort Worth is.
Oh, dude, Hyenas
is the shit.
Some of the people I've shot.
I've
Ollie
only
Shores,
performed
I've worked with him.
the 6 times I've ever worked at Hyenas. It's only been Hyenas Fort Worth. I haven't even worked at the Hyenas Dallas, and I know the GM Travis who works there.
Nick Mullen, man, that's somebody I worked with there. Like, they have some great people come through Hyenas in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Rooms. It's a cool
my
place.
residency is at the Library Bar, and like I'm there like once or twice a week, and like they have given me the biggest love out there, and I have generated outside business just being out there. But like, I mean, the only thing that sucks is just my general commute. I mean, before I moved in here,
you guys are out here.
I was living in Capel. Oh my God, that was amazing, dude. Capel was just like central to everything. It was just perfect. And I was like no more than 15 minutes away from DFW, so when I have like an out-of-state gig, I'm able to fly out there. It was wonderful. But Aubrey is nice. Aubrey, Little Elm area is nice. It is growing. And once they build out 380 and you know, expand the roadway the way they need to and build that expressway, I mean, it's going to be a much more efficient, you know, main road. But for now, we're in a comfortable home and decent neighborhood. You know, I'm in a spot that has a park right next to the house.
Nice.
You know, it's nice for the environment and lifestyle. But enough about me. What we're going to do right now, we're going to actually take a short break, refill our glasses, get some air. We will come right back talking to my guy Sam Brand before we close out and then go into this photo shoot with the fam. And we're back, of course, with the one and only Sam Brand. Sam Brand, the
That's
man
my dirty name.
stepping on sand. Yeah, stepping on sand. You just literally told me about how you stepped on hot coal last night.
Yeah,
And what did you actually burn your feet?
a couple toes. Yeah.
And you're like what? You were just grilling?
Yeah, I was grilling. I'm barefoot. Like I.
Yeah, I did notice that you were like barefoot even when we were shooting our outside shots.
When I can be barefoot when I wear shoes. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the hippie in you. That's the hippie in you.
And this is a hippie.
Yeah. So so Sam, we talked about how like you're in this like photography, videography business, working with comedians, coming back in your musician days, bringing that passion back into your life. So what is ultimately what's the progression? Like what are you ultimately trying to achieve within your career right now?
To play music and solely work with, like, in the comedy community, like, because I want to reach more people and work with more people. But when I can do that 100% of the time instead of having to like take time out for some contract work or something like that, that's my goal. Like, if I'm not shooting, I want to be playing music. Like,
Why aren't you putting out more content? Like of like you just playing like videos.
I don't like being on the side of the camera. I don't know if you guys can tell, but
I mean, I think you shoot beautifully, bro. I mean, you are definitely way more. You're definitely way more photogenic than you put off. You know, like that. You actually. I don't think that. I think your awkwardness just sits within you. I think it has nothing to do with like you looking.
Well, I got former fat kid vibes.
Oh, you used to be fat.
Yeah, like
Do you know Paxton Bailey?
I don't.
Okay, so like he's a DFW comedian, and he used to be fat. He's a pretty big guy now. Like he's got good size on him and
Yeah,
stuff.
I caught COVID-19 and it went up to like 27.
Really?
But
How
that's
many times?
pounds.
Because how many
That's
times have you had
pounds.
COVID? Because I haven't gotten COVID once.
I don't know.
Why? I mean, you don't have COVID now.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I mean, it's high on life, high on the energy that is
Drunk on whiskey.
yeah, and this is legal juice. Legal juice is what it is. So what cities have you kind of like gigged in? Like outside. I mean, you said you like after you left Mississippi, you kind of went on a little bit of a city to city.
Yeah, I went to
journey.
Memphis for a few years. Like, I loved playing there. Like, I played with these guys on God, it's so bad in my brain. I can't remember everything because there's so much. I'd have to like sit and really think about it. But I would play on Bill Street, and like one of my best memories from playing on Bill Street was playing there with the guy whose name was Chick. New Year's Eve, I'm playing a gig with him there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a bag full of harmonicas, but I'm sneaking in a bottle of champagne too. Because they've got people checking bags.
You're a big drinker.
Not as much as I used to be. Like, it's a wonder.
Oh, so you toned it down.
Oh, yeah.
Is this like the only way that you kind of stay loose? Do you feel like?
I lived in New Orleans for a few years, so that mentality, it rubs off on you, no? Shabby. It gets you.
I mean, were you what was it? What did the hand grenades? That's like their
No. You don't drink the sugary stuff. Like the worst I would. Do
I don't see. I don't like that. That's why I just.
If
drink.
you want a hangover, you drink that stuff.
Yeah,
but like
no.
my favorite place, there was this place, and I can't remember what it was. Cash Bar. A one-handed bike ride to and there from, because you're gonna be holding your drink, riding your bike. But Moscow Mules, $4 for a regular or $6 for a double.
Oh wow.
And you just get blind, like how I don't know how I made it home. Like you, luckily
On a bike, no
I had a
less.
phone holder for my bike.
This is a bicycle, or
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man, I had a fixie, man. It unfortunately got stolen here in Dallas, but
Damn.
I'm sad I missed it.
Your
There's a great
bicycle got stolen in Dallas. That son of a bitch. You ever try to like go on like eBay or Marketplace and see?
No, like I never wanted to find it, like
You never wanted to find it?
because I knew it'd be trash because it was like it had like an 80s seat on it, like this like SE, like that was like this red leather stamped, and it was just a cool little bike, man. and I just know it would be parted out.
Oh, so you think that like they definitely like
Yeah, I know it's been years, so it's gone.
it's well at this
I
point.
cried a few tears.
At this
but-
point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think losing your bicycle. I mean, what if you like, you're with your gear and stuff? I mean, I feel like that is just
Insurance.
yeah. Oh, well, that's that.
Always have insurance.
Always have insurance. Get insurance.
Being an adult, like
You have to adult. Okay. Don't think about the price you have to pay today. Think about the price you have to pay in the future when all shit goes to hell.
Yeah.
So
if I could remember the name of it, I've got, I would like plug them right now, but
wait for what?
for like the insurance, it's some cool stuff, but
Why wouldn't you plug it?
because I can't remember the name. Here, let's see if one more sip.
Yeah, find the name in the sip. There we go. Okay. Well, have you been up north? Have you ever like traveled to Chicago, LA,
Well, I was actually
or,
like North Dakota in
New York?
2014.
North Dakota?
Like I was up there
The fuck
for
was out there?
shoot. Oh man, it was terrible. But I was like 30 minutes from the Canadian border, and I didn't have a passport with me. And I almost drove up there because I had like 5 hours to kill. But because I didn't have a passport, they'll let you in, but you can't get back. So like
Not worth the risk.
that's as far north as I've been.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. So like, so what are some of the craziest situations that you've had in your like photography, videography business? I mean, you're working with comedians, so there's got to be just general shenanigans that are happening. I mean, like, what's a story that comes to mind that you're like, oh man, this is like in its own. Like, I don't know if this will ever happen again.
I don't know, man. It's like everything is unique. I look for something unique and everything, so I don't like kind of go back and dwell
Mm-hmm. Fair.
and just kind of I get excited for my next one instead of thinking about what I've done in the past. Because I've worked with
Yeah, but I mean, there's got to be a story that stands out that, like, I don't know, just an interesting moment. I mean, you said that you're shooting for Josh Blue
Josh Wolf.
or Josh Wolf. Okay, and he's a comedian that like his son started doing stand-up comedy, and then they started doing like comedy together, I think. Okay, but I mean, either way, you got that gig.
I'm gonna learn.
Yeah. But I mean, there's got to be.
I'm gonna tell you, like, the coolest moment though. The first time I realized I'd actually started doing something worthwhile is when Randy, the owner of Hyenas, like he gave my number to Pauly Shore, and I'm sitting there, and my phone. I didn't even know this, and my phone rings, and it says
Juicy.
It says Pauline Shore, and I'm like, no, this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like thinking somebody's messing with me.
And he called you and he's like, hey, dude.
Well, he just normal. He doesn't push on the thing, but he's just relaxed, and you could tell it's him.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, we want you to come shoot for us. And I was like, oh my God. And that was like the first moment where I was like, wow, I'm actually doing something worthwhile. And
Yeah. Pauly Shore is legendary, man.
Oh, he's a great guy too, man. He's focused on the shows. He's there for every person in the audience. Like he's an awesome guy.
I've also watched a lot of podcasts, and Pauly Shore has been there for a lot of comedians. Like he has really like showed up for them, supported them, like somewhat financially too. Like I think Bobby Lee even talks about how he like stayed with Pauly Shore when he had like no place to live. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like testament to like guys like that who, you know, like they built their notoriety and maybe it's not as big as it, like, you know, Pauly Shore's not as big now as he was like back in the 90s, you know what I mean? But it's like that legacy of what you've done for people within the business. I mean, I think that like that sets such a strong precedence, you know? But I mean, getting an opportunity to work with like people like
I went to the theaters to watch his movies, like
yeah.
Jury Duty.
Dude, Biodome,
Oh yeah,
Encino Man.
No, that one was. I didn't see it in theaters, but I grew up with Encino Man.
Encino Man, Brendan Fraser as the caveman.
We had it on a VHS that we recorded.
VHS. Who out there knows what VHS is anymore, you know? Those large, because that just shows how old we are, the VHS tapes. And then he was the voice of the best friend in the Goofy movie.
Yeah, that's what most of the people will remember, unfortunately.
He always played that secondary character. No, what was it? The son-in-law.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie, Son-in-Law. But man, shout out to Pauly Shore and the legend. So like, is there a comedian? I mean, I'm pretty sure that like if a big name wanted to work with you, you'd be down. But is like, do you have a favorite comedian where you were like, dude, if I got a chance to work with this person, it would be.
Honestly, I treat everybody the same. Like,
but you don't have a fan. Like, you're not a fan of like. There's not a comedian that's like.
I enjoy great talent. If someone's talented, I'm gonna enjoy it.
Okay.
But like honestly, and it doesn't go further than like a quick handshake and thank you for coming here, and having like sometimes you get like a 1 minute or 2 minute conversation with these guys because they're so focused, because they're coming to do work, and I'm there to work too. So it's nothing more like, oh my God, I'm like fanboying out and I get to hang out or something. Nothing like that, because it's a working situation on both sides.
I can see you being very well collected, but but I would imagine, like for example, like if I had a chance to work with Dave Chappelle, like I think that for me, he's my comedy goat. Like Dave Chappelle is my comedy goat. Like he is the comedian. Like I want to emulate my presence as strong as his, and I think that's like who I look at as like someone I look up to in the comedy game. Like that I followed for years, and that like no matter what he puts out, I'm going to watch it. You know what I mean?
I just don't get starstruck, man. Like I never have. Like I've been.
So who do you have a favorite comedian?
It's all just like kind of subject to what it is.
Okay, how about favorite musician?
Honestly, just whatever hits.
Whatever it is.
Like
Just too casual, bro.
I started off like Beatles heavy, so.
Okay.
But honestly, here lately, I've been listening to like 60s and 70s country, like Merle Haggard and stuff like that.
60s and 70s country. That's that old shit. That's like, damn.
It's
Okay.
cool, like the lyrics and stuff. Like that's
what country is known for is their damn lyrics, you know. So I guess you know, what to each their own. I mean, I'm not gonna shit on it, you know. Like it's not. Is
well,
that?
I go through moods because like I'll listen to like if it's not that, it's like Phoenix, something like that, like a PlayStation kind of like their music. Grew up listening to Beck, Ben Harper, all that stuff. So that gets in rotation every now and again too.
Okay, all right. Here's a question for you, because like when you play, like you're mostly performing covers, right?
Yeah, I throw in some original songs too.
Oh, so you do have you do. How many original songs do you have?
I've forgotten more than I can remember how to play. Cause I've had like stuff recorded, and I'll forget I wrote something, and I'll listen to it like I needed some work, but there's a good.
Yeah, you definitely came loose. You definitely came loose for this podcast session, because a lot of the DJs are like, you know what? I wish I had preempted questions so that I knew the answer.
I'm not Joe Biden and his press secretary. So
yeah.
I don't need that. Like, no, I don't really plan much. Like, I'm kind of seat in my pants. Like, I'll put it in my date book that I've got to do it, and then kind of know what I'm getting into, and then take it from there.
How long, like, if you were to do a musical set, like, as far as what, let's say, call it original music and cover songs.
I can play all night. I've played all night places. Like, I started kicking off like 7 o'clock and played till like 11:30, easy, with maybe minimal breaks, like 1 or 2 10-minute breaks.
Interesting.
Because I get into like it's therapy for me when I'm playing.
Yeah.
I just happen to be all right enough for people to want to listen to it. So.
But dude, you were fire. I remember the last time when I was at the Open Mic Mondays, R.I.P. Buzz Brews, but when we were there the last time I saw you jam, and you were doing a song, and I was like, oh, dude, there would be a good drum kick, and then I came out and I started beatboxing with you. Like, I wasn't sure how you were gonna react to it, right? Like, cause like sometimes like it's like when I do karaoke, like I will like sing back up, with the person who's singing. But sometimes if I want to have fun, like I'll throw in a little beatbox, and sometimes like I've had on very few occasions where they were like, and they're like, hey, it's throwing me off, or whatever, and I'm like, okay, you weren't even on beat anyway, so it's like I don't know, like after giving you an extra beat, I don't know why it was throwing you off, but like, is there just I don't know, like a typical set list of like certain artists that you
Honestly,
usually...
I get up there and I've got like songs saved that I can look at because, man, I've had like some trauma to the head throughout the years.
Physically or emotionally?
Both.
Okay.
I've gotten in some fights over women, all that fun stuff.
Over women?
But
Why?
that's another story.
That's another story. There's too many other stories here, and I want to hear the stories.
There'll be a part 2 sometime.
But apparently, you feel like your business network is going to be watching this show. You got to understand, this is more for me than it is for the public. You know? And like people happen to watch it, they watch it. But
I'm a wild guy. Like I've settled down like immensely. But like living in Mississippi, that's one reason I got out because, oh man, I was playing harmonica with a country band, and there was like just Jack Daniels flowing every way.
Mm-hmm.
The last gig I played at this one place with this band, the front man ends up going like a 2-year hiatus because he walks off the stage and collapses from just drinking so much. We'd been like just pumping ourselves full of Bud Light and Jack Daniels all afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was like this like long-haired hippie dude. Or no, I didn't have long hair then. I can't remember. I might have one point, but I'd always be barefoot. I would be barefoot.
Okay, well at least there's some consistency there.
I'd be jumping on top of amps and doing crazy
I love
stuff.
that you're like, I don't remember the details, but I was barefoot. I was not wearing shoes, for sure. Okay, fair enough. Well, Sam Brand, first and foremost, I want to thank you again for coming through and making this a multifaceted hang session that we were able to create this episode together. And we're about to do this shoot together. But the way I like to, I got to ask just one more question, and then we'll close it off. How many instruments you do play? You mentioned guitar, you mentioned harmonica. Is there any other instruments you play?
I mess around with enough, but not enough to say I can do it. Like, I'll play a little like lap steel a little bit, but that's kind of guitar. Like slide, lap slide.
Oh, like so you put the guitar like flat on its back.
Yeah. Well, I've got it actually stuff for it. Like I said, we can have episode 2 one of these days, and like I'll bring something in. I'll bring the crazy stuff.
Maybe we'll get Michelle Rose, and we'll do a special like little duet episode with the two of you guys. Yeah. But we end the episode in a very, very specific way, and essentially I allow for my guests to go ahead and leave off to the world any last statement, phrase, quote, anything you want to push out to the universe. You get to close it off. It's all on you. Sam Brand, bring that mic nice and close so they can hear you nice.
So I just want to say this. I'm looking forward to every bit of talent that I get the awesome opportunity to work out with. Because like I said, every gig I get, it's not work. I'm experiencing greatness. And we might need to cut this because I kind of stumbled a little.
No, we're not going to cut it. This is a very raw episode, dude.
Okay.
So, if you want to finish off that sentence.
So no, like seriously, all I can say is I'm looking forward to working with all the talent because there's so much talent in this area, in DFW, and nothing makes like I'm like brain farting.
Well, pretty much, I think what he's trying to say is you're looking for that video photo brand. You got to look at.
I'm terrible on this side of the camera, but on the other side, capturing stuff.
He's on it.
Yeah.
He's on it.
If y'all can't tell, I have the nerves of steel behind this side, but the other side, like I'm really cool with it.
Yeah, all the booze in the world couldn't get those nerves out of the way. But I appreciate you coming on. Sam Brand, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.